Each year on a day in February, Hobart takes a holiday. On the second day of the regatta, all work is put aside and lovers of yachts, speedboats and rowing, or crowds and fun, head for the river. Early in the morning mist, ships of the Royal Australian Navy arrive in Hobart. As the showmen are finishing setting up their sideshows, the small boats are taken to the ground and the first of a crowd of 90,000 begin to pour in. Over 100 years ago, in 1838, Hobart had its first Royal Regatta. Some old-timers haven't missed it for half a century, and the youngsters are there in force. The fun and sport is noisier now, the crowd's bigger. There are more and different races, but the same spirit is still there. And so is the Huon Chief. The oldest trading vessel in Tasmania, she first raced in 1849 and has been trading between the Huon and Hobart ever since. Hobart is an aquatic town, for years isolated from the world by the sea. Her young men are sailors and yachtsmen. For them the regatta means sailing. All round the River Derwent at their yacht clubs and slipways, they're preparing their boats for the 22 races ahead. As they gather round the start, they present a confusing sight for the layman, who hopes the judges can pick the winners. They're a pretty sight to watch as they speed across the blue water, their sails filling in the freshening sea breeze. The stiff competition keeps the crews on the move as they each take the course their helmsman considers best. Every boat length counts as they tack to cover their opponents. Any sudden shift of wind can spell the difference between success or failure. As they string out down the river, they put out their spinnakers and the pace is on. Fishing boats and trading vessels come from all round the coast. They run with diesels now. The sails are kept for emergencies, but today they're unfurled for the display. These are the smaller yachts, the rainbows and sailing dinghies. For the younger yachtsmen, they're the most popular and the wettest. Over by the riverbank, divers from Sydney show some fancy dives to the Hobart crowd. These boys are good all right, but us kids would rather eat. They didn't have these in 1838, but they're around in their dozens now. With throttles flat out, they roar round the buoy and almost take off as they enter the strait. Lead Boot, Jenny Lynn 2, Rock and Roll, and Doodle's Last. Names like these and all this noise keep them favourites with the crowd. Whatever will they think of next? The yachtsmen don't appreciate them, but they have grace. Watch these water skiers from the Trove. Upstream rowers are manoeuvring into position for the start of their race. These are the senior eights. Some of the best of Tasmania's rowers are competing in this race. Only a canvas separates the boats as they cross the finish. And the Sea Scouts have the traditional gig race, rowing boats similar to those used in the earliest regattas. The Navy always comes to the regatta. The aircraft carrier Sydney is the flagship. You can go on board their ships, and if you're young, dream of the day when you can fly this helicopter. Helicopters are rarely seen in Hobart. These attract a lot of interest when they rescue a flyer from the river. Now there's a display of Navy aircraft. The Navy's pilots are at their best today. Marine airmen in frontline defence aircraft excite the watchers not far below. Thousands of eyes follow these Gannets and Sea Venoms from the carrier Melbourne, drawing patterns in the sky. There's fun on the aero chair, the merry-go-round, and the Ferris wheel. Magic and mystery on the fairground, fat ladies, giants, midgets, mermaids, a snake charmer straight from Hawaii, and a juggler from Hong Kong. This young man knows which way an ice cream should slide, but these fellows don't. Captain Morgan made his victims walk the plank. Regatta officials do it more humanely, but it still gets laughs. And while you're still wet, you can become the champion amateur pillow fighter of the regatta. Then back to the crowd, and home to dream of tomorrow, a day of calm, quiet, peaceful work.